Everyone, a very good noon. Hi Shiva, hello Yogita. A very good noon to all of you. Hi Ajay, how are you? Hello Vanshika. So you know me, I am Nikita and I welcome you to this session, last minute tips for MAHCET with a specific focus on VARC. So I'll give you some general strategy tips today, then I'll talk to you about VARC and what to do. Uh, first for those for whom tomorrow is an exam and for those for whom the exam is day after tomorrow, right? Hi Disha, hello. All right. So, as I just told you, we'll talk about some general strategy, we'll talk about some VRC tips, and we'll look at some exam day tips, right? That's the agenda. Now, let's see what we should do. Yes. Hi, Prakash. Hello, Binita. So, I'm sure all of you are all set for the exam. If tomorrow is your exam, then I don't suggest that you should do anything today. Okay, just relax, stay calm. Okay, don't binge watch anything. Right, those would be my general suggestions to you. Good afternoon. Ashmita, these are last minute VRC tips, so I don't think they'll help you as much. They'll help CMAT aspirants as much. When CMAT is about to happen, I'll conduct a similar such session for CMAT as well. Okay, so that will be relevant for you. Okay. Hi, Sandhya. Hello, Pooja. Hi, Mansi. Hi, Vanshita. Hello, Mohit. Hi, Sandhya. Hello, Vaishnavi. Hi, Ahmed. Hello, Sushant. Hi, Radhika. All right. Good afternoon, Bhavesh. Okay, so let's begin with some general strategy tips because a lot of you are worried about what your strategy for MHCET should be, whether it will be a jumbled paper, whether it will be a section-wise paper. Okay, so first things first, see for the last 2 years it has been jumbled, right? But before that it used to be section-wise. Now, last year it was jumbled, but then questions that belong to one set were at one place. So, for instance, if it's an RC passage, all the questions related to an RC passage were at one place in one sequence. Okay. Uh, the year prior to that, even that was not the case. So it was very challenging for students in 2021, right? So if let's say it's a jumbled paper, then your strategy, I think, see, don't over strategize. That would be my suggestion to you. Students think so much about their strategy that they attempt less and strategize more. So when it's a jumbled paper, your straightforward strategy should be you have to maximize your marks per minute. Okay, every minute counts then, and you are simply looking at a marks per minute strategy, right? So uh, just look at it pretty logically. 200 questions in 150 minutes, that means per minute I have to attempt about 1.33 questions. Or to put it another way, on an average in 45 seconds I should be done with one question. Okay, I have to earn 1 mark in 45 seconds, right? So just keep this in mind, and at intervals of let's say 30 minutes, 45 minutes, you can keep checking whether you're sticking to this or not, whether you're scoring about 1 mark per 45 seconds or not, right? That's what you need to do in case you get a jumbled paper tomorrow, right? Thank you, Ashmita. Thank you. That means so much. All right. Okay, Mansi. Good. Are writing pads allowed? They haven't mentioned anything regarding this in the admit card. They've just said that you need to bring your own ballpoint pen. So I suggest that you don't take your writing pads, okay? They will provide something or the other to you, as all the other entrance tests do. They do provide rough sheets, okay? So I don't recommend your taking them. That will just be extra load for you. Then you'll keep it in a bag and carry that back, okay? So usually they provide you with rough sheets. Okay. Great, great. Yes, yes. This session is for some last words of wisdom. You've guessed it right. Yes, Rohit K. Some people call it the 30-40 strategy. It's a very simple strategy that we have been following in speed-based entrance tests for an eternity. Okay. Speed-based entrance tests demand this from you. How many marks you're scoring per minute. Okay. So in IIFT, For instance, this is what we recommend students, that go for this marks per minute strategy. In all the exams where you have to manage your own sections, right? You have to manage the sections, or basically there are no sectional time limits. You go with this strategy, right? So it's not something special that I'm suggesting to you for MAHCET, or let's say this 30-40 strategy. This is not something that's a new invention. It's something that we have been following for speed-based tests where there are no sectional time limits, right? Okay, all right. Now, if it's the section, if let's say this happens, so yesterday I think I got a little confused. Some of you asked me if it will be a section-wise paper. So I had this in mind that last year it was a section-wise paper. No, last year also it was jumbled, just that questions of one set were in one sequence. So all the RC questions, so for instance, if it's an RC carrying 5 questions, then all those 5 questions were at one place. That was the case last year. It was not a section-wise paper, it was a jumbled paper. Then the year prior to that also it was a jumbled paper. So, the probability, therefore, if I go by the last 2 years trend, this probability becomes low. But if it comes, right, we should be prepared for surprises. It's MAHCET. So if it comes, then this can be your section-wise strategy with, of course, a buffer time. This will leave you a buffer time of 25 minutes, around 2. Rather than calling it a buffer time, I think it would be better to call it around 2, right? So 50 minutes for your LR, right? Logical reasoning. Then 30 for VARC, 30 for quant, 15 for abstract reasoning. After this, you will be left with 25 minutes. So you can spend these 25 minutes on that section, which is your strength, or on that section where you feel you've left some questions that are doable, pretty doable for you, right? So this is how you can divide your time across sections. Okay. All right. Don't worry, Mansi, whatever you've done till now, I'm sure you've practiced the basic concepts, yes, and you've taken a couple of mocks. If you've done that, then just follow the strategy that you have in mind tomorrow. Just remember that you have practiced, you have taken mocks, so have faith in your preparation. I think it's very important. See, there are students whom I see practicing very hard, but because they don't have this faith in their preparation, they get nervous in the exam, okay? They hesitate in marking questions in the exam. So that's actually very disadvantageous, because you worked hard also and then also you're not getting a result, right? So I think this confidence element, this faith element, it is half the job done when it comes to any management entrance test. Okay. All right. Yes, tukka tricks for CET. See, okay, I'll give you the tukka tricks also. Let's come to another slide. I've written that trick there. Okay. So first things first, as I said, be confident, stay calm. You could get surprises. Maybe it's a good surprise. See, if the paper comes section wise, in my opinion, that will be a good surprise, isn't it? So you could get surprises, but they may work in your advantage, one thing. And even if you feel at that point that they're not to your advantage, everybody is disadvantaged similarly. It's not just you, right? Always remember this for any test, any entrance test that you take. Okay, now some surprises that CET has presented to us. So as I said, in 2021, questions of the same set were also not together. Then in 2022, 22 questions from RC were there in one slot. In one slot, there was no grammar. Spelling questions have been tricky in the last 2 years. And students have learned to deal with this, yes, when presented with these challenges. So if the spelling questions are tricky, you sincerely mark those that you know the answers to. The ones that you do not know the answers to, mark them right there right away. Just pick any random option. It could be A, B, C, D, or E. You don't even need to pre-think that, okay, I'll mark B tomorrow for an option that I do not know. फॉर ए क्वेश्चन दैट आई डू नॉट नो, वो भी मत सोच के जाओ, वहां पे जो मन करे। अगर जब हमें कुछ नहीं आता है, बिल्कुल नहीं आता है, राइट, देन just mark any of the 5 options right then and proceed. Okay, if there's no grammar, no problem. Attempt the vocabulary questions, okay, attempt them to the best of your ability, then go to the RC passages. If there are 22 questions from RC, actually they were very short RC, so they were more or less paragraphs only. So this again makes your job easier. If there is a paragraph that has 2 questions based on it, right? If you get such paragraphs, then you know it means that the question set just became shorter. So look at the positive side. Now you are not reading very long RCs, you're reading short paragraphs, right? So just adapt yourself. quickly to whatever challenge you get and just think it's a challenge for everybody. All right? Okay. So वर्स्ट के लिए प्रिपेयर करो, ये सोच के मत जाओ कि वर्स्ट आएगा. Okay? It's just one of the scenarios, one of the many scenarios that you are preparing for. Okay? Yes, Shweta, I agree with you. All right. Now, how to attempt? So, I've already talked to you about what to do if it's a jumbled paper, what to do if it's a section-wise paper. Now, uh, if it's a jumbled paper, solve the questions as they come. I think that's the strategy that works the best for me. As I said, I don't over strategize. Okay. So, uh, if let's say I look at my first 5 questions, now, let's say the first 5 questions are from an RC passage. I would not start with an RC passage. I would go to question 6. Right? So, even though I'm telling you solve the questions as they come, that does not mean that you have to solve each and every question as it comes to you. Right? Now, question 6 is, let's say, a QA question, but I can see that it's an easy question. Although VARC is my biggest strength, but if it's a QA question and an easy question, I would attempt it right there. Okay. Then I come to question 7. Now, this is a vocab or grammar question. Of course, I'll attempt it right there. I come to question 8. Now, this is an LR question, but it's again a pretty short question. It's not a set. Okay, it's a very short question. I feel that I can do it. I'll do it right there. So this is what I mean by solve the questions as they come. Okay, so QA पहले आया but easy लगा कर दिया वहीं पर attempt. If it's pretty lengthy or if it seems to be very difficult or if I tried it but I'm not able to solve it, I'll not remain stuck there. I'll go to question 7. Okay, so even if you fail, learn to fail fast. Right? Even if you fail in a particular question, learn to fail fast and learn to proceed. That's what is required in speed-based exams. Okay. All right. So when it comes to sets, I would not want to start my paper with an RC set. I would rather want to start with easier and shorter questions so that I am able to cover a considerable ground in my first star, and therefore I have that confidence, oh, I have covered sufficient ground. And that's my strategy for every exam where there are shorter questions. Again, whatever I'm telling you is something very logical, something that you also know intuitively. Okay? All right. It's about failing fast. Correct, Rohit. I agree with you. If you do not know, if you try solving a question, you're not even able to narrow down to 2 options, you leave it for the time being. Okay. If you feel that you'll not be able to solve it later, also just mark something randomly and proceed. If you feel नहीं नहीं ये थोड़ा सा इसमें time लगेगा पर हो जाएगा, then mark it for review right now. Okay, and proceed. Right. So this is how you go about it. Keep some buffer time. As I said, 15 to 25 minutes should be kept as some buffer time. You can also call it your round 2. Okay. And I mean, if let's say you are leaving 15 minutes, then you can, let's say, devote 35 minutes to QA, 35 minutes to VRC. It's up to you where you devote the extra 10 minutes. Also, attempt every question. Okay. Because there's no negative marking. I think this is something that you've been hearing for a lot of time now. All of you know this. In addition to this, make probability your friend. So what I mean by this is that if you are 80% sure, so you are confused between B and C, but you are 70 to 80% sure that B is the answer, then just mark it. Okay, don't even leave it for review, mark it right there. Okay, so mark it right there, make probability your friend. Do not be so bothered about becoming 100% sure that you compromise on time. Remember, our simple strategy is marks gained per minute. So don't forget the per minute aspect of it. Okay. Do not make certainty your enemy. See, you are going to get just 1 mark for every question. Be it a difficult question, be it an easy question. उससे ज़्यादा तो नहीं मिल जाएंगे, right? So don't attempt questions egoistically. Oh, I have to solve this. Attempting every question does not mean sincerely solving every question, right? So if it's a difficult question, if you can see you are not even able to narrow down to 2 options, don't waste time there. Don't make this certainty becoming 100% sure your enemy. It's a managerial test, right? It's a management test. See, they're teaching you management skills only through this. How to deal with uncertainties, how not to be so much after certainty that you waste a lot of time and are not able to take decisions in time. So this is what they're teaching you. Okay, your own calculators are not allowed, Mansi. That's written on your admit card. Okay, and whether they are there in the whether they'll provide it or not, that I don't know. Okay. Good afternoon, guys. Those who are joining. Now, I think this is something that Gaurav sir also suggested to you, and I agree with him completely that in the first round, so the 125-minute first round that you have, whatever you know for sure, meaning short questions, easy questions, okay, of course you have to mark the answers there. Whatever you do not know at all, mark the answer to it right there. I have seen a lot of students thinking, अच्छा ये जो जितने भी flukes है हम end में ही करेंगे. You know, we'll mark all the flukes towards the end, and then somehow they don't get that time towards the end. Okay, they are so engrossed in solving their questions sincerely that they don't even utilize the last 5 minutes to mark all the flukes. So don't leave it for the end. Okay, just let's just preempt that scenario. We'll not leave it for the end. नहीं आता मुझे पता है बाद में भी नहीं होगा, अभी मार्क कर दो, फिर उसको अभी रैंडम फ्लूक कर दो. Right? Okay. So Rohit, whatever you feel is short and easy in VARC, that is what you should attempt. Okay. And whenever you are 70-80% sure, mark it there. Okay. Mark it right there. Don't leave it for the end. That's the game plan that you should go with. All right. No, Ajay. 130 is a decent score. I do not suggest it. Okay. Any short tricks for RC, Yogesh? We have just the session for you at 3 p.m. today, where Vikrant sir will talk to you about your RC strategy, okay? And he'll talk to you, he'll also practice some MAHCET RCs with you. So instead of taking a mock, I suggest that you attend that session, because there, of course, you're not being marked, okay? So it will not create that kind of pressure on you, and you'll get all your tricks and tips there, okay? For jumbled sets, oh, Yogita, that's actually a tricky game. So in that case, in case let's say questions from one set are also not together, see, then read the question instructions very, very carefully. Okay. So for every question, in fact, tomorrow, read your question instructions very carefully. Through the language, you'll get an idea whether this is a set or whether this is an individual question. The moment you realize that this is a set, you leave it for the time being. You first attempt your short, individual, easy questions, and then you come to sets. In that also, so for instance, if LRDI sets, LR is my strength, okay, versus whereas RCs are my weakness. Then what I'll do is I will not leave RC sets for the very end. The intuitive thing to do would be पहले LR कर लेते हैं फिर RC पर आएंगे. But RC बिल्कुल एंड में पेपर क्या आप करोगे, यू विल बी सो टायर्ड राइट इन रीडिंग सो मच टुवर्ड्स द एंड. सो डोंट लीव RC sets for the very end. Right. So shorter questions first, definitely, but in the sets also prioritize. So for instance, I could leave parajumble sets for the end. That is something that I can do. Right. If parajumble is also a set-based question. If LR is my strength, I can also leave a couple of LR sets towards the end for the end. But I would probably not leave my RC sets for the very end of the paper. Okay, so just be a little smart. You know your strengths and weaknesses intuitively. And intuitively you will proceed like that. You will proceed keeping your strengths in mind. Just that, अगर कुछ बहुत weakness है तो उसे बिल्कुल end के लिए मत छोड़ो. इतना सारा reading बिल्कुल end के लिए मत छोड़ो. I would not suggest it. Okay? All right. Okay. So don't get stuck in a question. I said it earlier. I'm repeating it. I'm emphasizing it. Why? Because it will waste your time. Why? Because ultimately it will fetch you just 1 mark. And a major reason, a question may be wrong. So what if you spent 4 minutes on a question, on one individual question, but then after coming back you realize question ही गलत था, right? आपकी गलती थी ही नहीं. So that's wasted time, completely wasted time. So don't get stuck. It doesn't help you in any scenario. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'll address this. Those who are saying nervous about the exam, I listened to a brilliant podcast yesterday which addressed this itself. So I'll address this. Okay. Don't worry. VARC strategy tips. Now let's come to my area, right? VARC. And let me just recapitulate whatever you've done with me over the 100 most expected series, right, in the last lab sessions. Now, vocabulary, when it comes to vocabulary, if it's contextual vocabulary, please read the complete sentence at once, right? Don't read just a few words and start marking. Read the complete sentence. So if it's a fill in the blank question, even if the blank is right there in the beginning, read the entire sentence at once. Pay attention to what the surrounding words are saying. Okay, are they positive? Are they negative? What is the meaning of these surrounding words? Pay attention to that. Grammar can also help. Do I need a noun in this blank? Do I need an adjective in this blank? So grammar can also help you. And lastly, group and eliminate on the above basis and mark an answer. All right. Okay. Tricks for flukes. फ्लूक्स के लिए क्या ट्रिक्स बताऊं? अगर बिल्कुल नहीं आता तो रैंडमली एबीसीडी में से कुछ भी मार्क कर दो, राइट? एंड मार्क इट राइट अवे, डोंट वेट फॉर द लास्ट मिनट, मैं लास्ट के 5 मिनट्स में ही मार्क करूंगी फ्लूक्स, नो. ग्रामर. So in grammar, fill in the blanks and error spotting questions can be time saving. Usually they are the time saving questions. Okay, so of course do give them a sincere shot. In sentence correction questions, as I've told you, if the same sentence has been repeated in multiple ways, in multiple options, right, go for a vertical scan. Spot the differences among the options and keep eliminating whatever you think is incorrect. Okay. Then when it comes to parajumbles, for individual parajumbles, please take the help of options. For set-based parajumbles, if you have options, do take the help of options. If you do not have options, if you have to make the entire sequence and you feel that this is a difficult parajumble, I'll probably not be able to do it, there may be some vocabulary and grammar-based questions in this set. Don't leave those questions, right? Also, you must be thinking when to attempt these. See, if they are individual questions, then I would say that attempt these first before your RC passages, right? If they are set-based questions, then you have a choice. Whatever you feel is your stronger suit. If you're stronger in RCs, attempt RCs first and then parajumbles, and vice versa. Okay. All right. Ideal time for one RC. See, if it's a 5-question RC, it also depends on the number of questions that you get, isn't it? A 5-question RC, I would say, in the exam should not take you more than, because CET RCs are easy also, right? So I would say a 5-question RC should take you about 7 minutes, not more than that, right? So this is the ideal time that I would suggest, going by CET standards, because the questions tend to be relatively on the easier side. Okay. If the questions come to be more difficult, then of course the time per question goes slightly up. Then probably it will be 8 minutes. Right? Okay. Now, RC passages. I would say attempt them after vocabulary and grammar, but do not leave them for the very end of the paper. That's not something that I recommend. So much reading towards the end is not something that I recommend. But again, it's entirely up to you. You have taken some mocks, so you are the best judge of what works for you, right? So if you're scoring a 130, 140 in the mocks, okay, with a particular strategy, then my suggestion is stick to that strategy. Okay. Also be flexible about your strategy. So if for instance I'm saying VARC is my strength, but what if tomorrow VARC comes to be difficult? Then you should have that calmness in you that okay, fine, I can see that VARC is slightly more difficult, so let me just navigate through whatever questions I can in VARC and let me now divert my focus to my other sections. Okay, maybe there are easier questions there. So my ultimate goal is marks per minute. My ultimate goal is attempting the shorter and the easier questions and maximizing my score from these short and easy questions. That's the only mantra that I have. Okay. Right. Verbal reasoning. When I talk about verbal reasoning, syllogism, assertion reason, cause effect. These questions tend to be time saving. Syllogism is the most time saving. Yes, if you know the concept, you can just quickly draw a Venn diagram. Sometimes even that is not needed. Assertion reason, right? Because it's slightly GK based also, so you realize, oh, whether I know it, whether I don't know it. Cause effect, again, just 2 statements and you have to figure out their relationship. So these tend to be time saving questions, and again, give them a sincere shot. Do not speed read your critical reasoning questions. So last year what happened was that the question stems of these critical reasoning questions were of this sort that had words such as accept, not. Okay, so in case you don't read such words, no, accept, not, carefully, you end up marking something entirely different from what is required. So first is read your question stem carefully, understand what is required from you, then even read the paragraph carefully. This is not an area where you implement your speed reading. Okay, speed reading is meant for your RC passages, not for your critical reasoning questions. So understand the paragraph well, read the question stem well, and eliminate. That's the short way of getting these questions correct. And if you feel again after some after let's say investing a minute, you've still not been able to narrow down to even two options, then probably it's a difficult question for you. It is best left in round one. Okay, you can leave it for round two. ठीक है, डुएबल लग रहा है आपको, लग रहा है कि आंसर आ रहा है तो करो आगे. अगर लग रहा है कि समझ में ही नहीं आया पैराग्राफ, दो ऑप्शंस भी नैरो डाउन नहीं हुए, लीव इट फॉर राउंड टू. ओके, all right. Which section? See, if it's a jumbled paper, then you don't really have a choice, right? I would not recommend this that you keep skipping some questions, then you select just, let's say, VRC questions and attempt them. It wastes time. Okay, so solve questions as they come if it's a jumbled paper. If it's a non-jumbled paper, then it's up to you. What is your strength? So I would start from VRC because that's my strength. Okay, I would then probably go for LR or abstract reasoning and then QA in the end. That's what my strategy would be. But again, it depends on what your strengths versus weaknesses are. Okay. All right. क्या क्या बातें चल रही हैं चैट बॉक्स में, मुझे समझ में भी नहीं आ रहा है मोस्टली. Exam day tips. Let's talk about what to do on today, tomorrow, right? So, yes. So, see, flukes, when I say, whenever you guess, see, human beings are rational individuals, usually. Okay, I'm not saying all the time. So, whenever we make guesses, also, most of the times they're calculated guesses. Particularly when I know that marks are at stake, I would make a calculated guess. So, if it's a synonym question and I have narrowed down to two options, but I'm just not able to, decide between these two, they're so close. Then, in that case, I would look at the question word again. Let's say the question word is denigrate, okay, and I don't know its meaning. So I would look at the question word again. I would probably try to recall, have I heard it somewhere? Does it look like a positive or a negative word? Are these positive or negative words? So that sort of analysis our mind does very quickly. Okay, trust your mind. So based on that, then I will eliminate. अच्छा, मेरे को 60% लग रहा है कि शायद ये आंसर है. I'll just mark it and proceed. Okay, so calculated guesses is what you have to make. All right. पेपर भी मैं ही दे आऊं विकास. अगर इतना मुझे बताना है, so then I can go and take the exam also on your behalf, isn't it? So what do you have to carry? You asked me to make you well versed with the instructions, right? Just a second. Yes. Logical flukes कैसे करें? Meenu, you were asking that what to do if we are short of time. See, if you are short of time, in that case, लॉजिकल नहीं हो सकता. अगर बिल्कुल आपके पास 2-3 minutes बचे हैं and then you have to mark about 20 questions there, then you just have to randomly mark. In that case, you can't be logical, but otherwise, yes, you can be logical. That's why I said that, keep a buffer time of 15 to 25 minutes so that you are not very hard pressed for time at the last minute. Okay. All right. Now, paste your recent color photo on the admit card, sign across it, do it today itself, okay? Whenever your exam is tomorrow, day after tomorrow, आज ही कर लो, आज time है आपके पास. Then please don't forget to carry that admit card, yes? Carry a valid photo ID proof. It could be your Aadhaar card, it could be your driver's license. So anything that has your photo, your name, your date of birth, that can count as your valid photo ID proof and it has been issued by the government. That's also necessary. अपना school, college का कुछ मत लेके चले जाना, right? So your, I think Aadhaar card, driver's license, they are your best bets. But yes, your DOB should be full. So some older Aadhaar cards, they just write the year of birth and not the date of birth. We need a date of birth. Okay. Carry a ballpoint pen. It is explicitly written in the admit card that you have to carry it because you have to sign your attendance sheet in the presence of the invigilator. right? Now, no college ID card, no college ID card, okay? Now, yes, I don't know what has happened to the animation suddenly. So, this is what I wrote. Avoid carrying bags if you can, because then there's always this problem of where to keep those bags. So if you can do without your mobile phones, then just carry your admit card, your ballpoint pen, right, and your valid photo ID proof. Bas ye carry kar lo. That's it. Okay. So avoid carrying bags so that no problems of storage arise. Use the washroom before leaving for the center. You never know how the facilities are there and if you'll get time to use the washroom. Um, Three is that today itself check the time during peak traffic hours. What is the distance and time? Okay, from from your home to the test center. Check it during peak traffic hours. Even if your exam is tomorrow at 8:30, as in the gate closure time is 8:30, still check it during peak traffic hours and leave accordingly. Reach at least 30 minutes before the gate closure time mentioned on the admit card. So if it's 8:30 for you, you have to ensure that you reach by it, and I suggest that reporting time 7:30 लिख के 7:30 ही पहुंच जाओ. ठीक है? Why to take that risk? ठीक है? You might feel that you'll get bored, but reach there, okay, and then probably just check that your computer is working fine. Just relax there, okay? So uh, familiarize yourself with the center. So reach at least 30 minutes before the gate closure time that is mentioned on the admit card. All right. Cause effect are a little bit same and it's so Meenu, what was the earlier query? Critical reasoning. So I took a session on it, no, in the last lab. We had a session, and in fact, if you look up our previous MAHCET playlists, then I have covered critical reasoning extensively for MAHCET in our previous years. Okay, 2021, 2022, you'll find my sessions. In fact, we have sessions per question type. Okay, so there's one session for inference, there's one session for assumption, one for strengthen, one for weaken. In this, I've also discussed the memory-based previous year papers. So just go through those in case you feel like brushing up your critical reasoning. Okay. All right then. So this is what you have to follow. Of course, I would suggest that eat healthy. You do not want to fall sick on the day or before the day of the exam. ये सब आज ही कर लेना. Pasting the photograph, okay, signing across it. So keep all the stuff together today itself. Don't binge watch anything today, okay? Rest your eyes sufficiently. Sleep for 7 to 8 hours. Most importantly, and this is the most important ingredient to succeed in any entrance test, stay calm and be confident. Okay, so this is what you have to do. All the very best. You have prepared, right? We have I think we've covered so many questions of VRC, right? 100 plus questions in the 100 most expected series. You've attended the last lab sessions, so you have practiced enough. You've taken mocks. Just have faith in your preparation, okay? That will do the job for you tomorrow. Stay calm. It's a test of your managerial skills, how you manage your time, how you manage the questions that you face tomorrow, okay? So keep calm, ace the test, and all the very best from my end, from my entire team. I'm sure you'll do wonders tomorrow, and we will discuss your performance. We'll discuss the general level of the exam in the MHCT analysis also. All right. Yes. So I was talking to you about this podcast. Yes. So it said that we need to be intense and relaxed at the same time. We need to be intense and relaxed at the same time. Okay. This is such a paradoxical statement. Yes. So, intense does not mean tense, and relax does not mean lax, right? Intense means that whatever you do it with intention. Okay, so you have this intention to succeed tomorrow. You have this intention to solve the questions, solve as many questions accurately as you can in the given time span. So be intentional in the paper tomorrow, right? And be relaxed. Your core should be calmness. Relaxed does not mean laid back. Okay, it does not mean lax. So having that combination of intention. So why are you feeling nervous? Some of you who are feeling nervous because you have that intention, but currently uska excess ho gaya, right? That's why you are a little tensed. So don't be tensed, rather be intense. Okay. channelize that productively. Your nervousness is a sign that you care about the exam. Just channelize it positively, productively. Your goal is positive to succeed, so your feelings and all should be positive. Okay, and be relaxed. Okay, stay calm. You should be like this deep water body where nothing can shake the bottom. Okay, and if you follow this in life also, nothing like it. Okay, so this was for life. I think this will help you a lot in the exam tomorrow. All right. बच्चे तुक्का का trick is that if you do not know something at all, mark it right away. Anything out of A, B, C, D will do. Okay. If you feel that something is doable, but it's lengthy, it will take more time, it's more difficult, then in the round two, which is of 15 to 25 minutes, there you can try solving it. If you're able to solve it, nothing like it. If you're unable to solve it, again, if you've narrowed down to two options, उसमें से एक mark कर दो. Simple. Okay. All right. All the very best, all of you, okay? All my wishes are with you. As I told you yesterday, you are worthy of everything that you wish for in life. This is just one of those things, okay? And you will ace it. Have that faith in yourself, okay? All right. So this is it from my end today. And I'm sure you have attended these sessions, and those of you who have a problem with RCs or want some last minute tips for RCs, today at 3 p.m. we have a session for that. Okay, do join us after the exam. Okay, we have analysis on both the days, so do join us. We'll discuss everything. So all the best to everyone. All right. This is it from my side for today. Stay connected. Okay. Do let me know how your paper went. Okay. So tomorrow when you join the analysis, I'll also be watching it and I'll see how your paper went. Okay. All right. Bye-bye. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Okay. It was a pleasure teaching all of you. I just hope that you also had as much fun as I did. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you, Shweta. That means so much. Maximum time for reading an RC. So if it's a 500 word RC, you should be able to read it in 2.5 minutes. All right. Welcome, welcome. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Welcome, welcome all of you. Bye. You too. Take care.